All right, this is jpeg2RAW, show number 146, recorded on June 2nd, 2015. And Tim, tonight starts off our summer season, and we're going to start it off with a bang with an awesome guest tonight.
Absolutely.
Yes, this guest has hit, actually, I mean, it's gone viral. I don't know exactly when it started. We'll talk to her about that, but she has been on CNN, or featured on CNN, Huffington Post, I think it's Morning Sunrise or something in Australia, all over the world, really. Yeah. It's been all over the world with her photos with one of her projects called Strong as New Pretty. And once I say it, I don't know, Kate, if you came up with this saying, but once I say it, I can't stop saying it. It's kind of catchy.
That's awesome.
You know?
I actually did not come up with that like turn of phrase.
Okay.
The writer for the Huffington Post, Mary Al Stevenson, who's amazing. She kind of got everything started. Had asked me when I sent her. She asked me for the pictures, and she works for this amazing organization called Glam for Good. She started it, and it ties into a bunch of charities. And she asked and causes, and she asked, "What, when I write this article, is there a charity you work with, or a cause you support?" And it like immediately clicked with me, and I was like, "Oh, this is about empowering girls. This is about showing girls that this is beautiful." And so I think from what I wrote to her in our interview, she sort of, as a writer, plucked out the best like media savvy word for it, and she launched Strong as a New Pretty. So I'm like eternally grateful to her.
Well, it's an awesome phrase, and it's very fitting for what you did. But it's to me, it's and I'm not that pretty, but it's a catchy phrase that I was saying around the office today. Just saying to different people, "Strong as a New Pretty," and I had no clue what I was talking about. I think Mike being strange again, but it's still just interesting to say. But before we get into that, I want to learn a little bit more about you. How did you get into photography?
Well, before I had kids, I worked as a video editor at CNN, and from there I went into advertising. I was a producer on the Ford account for J. Walter Thompson. And so I was used to really working in, like a small frame, like making something look good and appealing within a small frame, but with moving pictures. So when I stopped working and had my first daughter 10 years ago, I was taking pictures of her, and I think my taste level had gotten so high from working next to art directors for so many years that I was like, these pictures are terrible. Like I wanted to get better. And so I just sort of immersed myself in learning how to shoot in manual, and how to edit, and how to and just sort of, so I would eventually match up what I wanted to see and in my head and what I actually shot. So it took some time, but it was like once I decided that that's what I wanted to do, I sort of went full steam ahead.
Now, have you made the transition to be a full-time photographer then?
Yes, yeah.
Was that a difficult decision to leave, a steady job at CNN, or and then move over to being a full-time photographer?
Well, it actually worked out. So I was home with my girls. So I was staying home with my girls.
Okay.
And it as gradually as they got older, I got more and more work. So it was as they went to school. Like that first year they were both in school was kind of the first year was full time, mm-hmm. and I still drive them to school. I still pick them up from school, and I still work. I try to work within the hours of, I drop them off and pick them up, which is not really ever happened because I work at night as well. But so it's as full time as it can be when also trying to be a mom and a soccer coach and maybe have dinner cooked once a month, possibly. I don't know.
Well, I hear that from some photographers. One is making that switch can be sometimes difficult from a full-time job or a steady job at an office to being a full-time photographer. But it does, give you some more flexibility where you can do those things and be, either, a more involved mom or a more involved dad and do things like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I've recently made a similar change from shooting lifestyle and family to I'm just doing commercial work now. So that's that's kind of where I wanted to go when I first started. because of my background as in advertising. So it's been a similar kind of transition, like a little scary and a little different, but ultimately what I wanted to do.
All right, since you went straight to commercial, I have the thing I told you I was going to hold to the end of the show. I'm going to go ahead and do now.
Okay.
So this person said, ask Kate. Let me find the question. Hold on, I'm gonna mess it up. Ask Kate, who is the most awesome light tech she's ever worked with?
Most awesome.
Hint.
Is it Mike?
Mike Coletta, yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, well, he had nothing but glowing things to say about you. He said it was really enjoyable to watch you work, and just amazing work you were doing.
He is awesome because I can use these lights in my studio. I do not know how to light a teeny tiny hotel room to make it look like the sun is coming in. And Mike, I was like, please help me out. We just finished a shoot a couple weeks ago, and he was awesome. It was my most nerve-wracking thing about that whole shoot was getting the lighting right, and he was the most awesome lighting tech ever. He is so great.
Well, he'll be happy to hear that. He's been on the show a few times, I think 3 times, and we we love Mike. He's like you said, he's a wonderful light tech. But he was honored to have worked with you. And I was really enjoyed that.
Very lucky to work with him.
So tell us a little about your commercial work that you're getting into. So we'll go into the Strong as a New Pretty later, but like most photographers, that's not all you are. You're a lot more than that. What kind of commercial work are you doing these days?
Just stuff with advertising agencies, with different brands. Obviously with kids, lifestyle, some athletic sort of things. Shot the campaign for Girls on the Run, which is a nonprofit for girls training to do a 5K, and it's a real similar sort of feel and like message that Strong as a New Pretty has. So it was a really great fit. That was one of my favorite jobs ever. Just finished working on the one with Mike Coletta, which was a hotel chain. Families in a hotel chain, which is great. Got a few upcoming that are not necessarily nailed down yet. So trying, just really enjoying this whole process, like learning how it works, learning how really love working on the set, getting amazing help from people like Mike. And I really enjoy it. It's very familiar to me because I worked on a ton of them as a producer when I was working with the ad agency. So it's real familiar, and I know the other side of it. So it's a comfortable position to be in. I know what the agency is looking for, and I know what their relationship with the client can be, sort of dicey sometimes, and I understand like what my role is as a photographer.
Now, are you having to hire all the people that are helping you? Like, you're having to find the Mike Colettas and do all that, or is the ad agency getting everybody together?
I have an agent who's awesome, Sarah Claxton, who's great, and she will help me hire a producer. She hired a local producer, which is Callie Householder, I just said, Callie said, do you have people you like? And I was like, I don't know anybody. Who do you like? And so she hired all the people that she liked that were awesome.
Yeah.
So next time I will say, no, I like Mike. And
yeah. Well, that's sounds like a lot of fun. You're learning and getting these new people and making a lot of new connections that'll help you down the road.
Yeah. Not everybody can be like, not everybody has the same skill set. So you just want to hire like the people that are great at their job to make you, help elevate everybody. Right.
No, very good. So how, let's see. I noticed a lot of your images that you do are black and white. Are you doing that in commercial too? Or is it more what you have to stick to what the client wants?
I mean, I try to work in some black and whites if it works. If it doesn't work, I actually, the Strong as a New Pretty started straight black and white and then moved into more color. So I feel like now I prefer kind of probably more color. I think, everybody goes through phases. Yeah. And when Strong as a New Pretty started and I shot a lot of it, I wanted to keep it all in black and white. But now I just, I kind of prefer, unless it's like screaming black and white to me, I would prefer to do it in color.
Well, one of the things Mike said is that when he was working with you, is that he loved watching you work because you were different from a lot of commercial photographers, that you had your style and it came through in the work. And that was refreshing for him to see that. That can you tell us a little bit about maybe your style, what he's seeing?
Oh yeah, I think that makes me so glad to hear that, because that's what I hope somebody, a client would hire me for, is that I think a lot of people can get the set shots. Like if you told me to capture this child doing this one thing in this exact position, I think a lot of photographers could capture that. Right. However, if you want to capture sort of the in-between moments and more of an authentic moment, then I think I'm very comfortable doing that, and I don't need a whole lighting setup. I can get it with available light and just grab the talent and go on the bed and jump on the bed and get shots that way. Because that's how I'm used to working. I'm used to working small. I'm not used to working with a huge crew. I do enjoy having all of this like support, but I'm used to doing it just sort of on my own and catching, making it as simple as possible with just window light, if that's what's there.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of your images. Okay, a lot of your images are very strong light. The lighting plays a big part in the image and telling that story, and including the one that's on your front page. I'm pointing at something, but nobody can see what I'm pointing at. But on your webpage,
Scooter,
kateparkerphotography.com, I almost didn't want to leave that first image. Your dog there, Scooter, and one of your daughters, I guess, standing right there, and the light is so strong on there, and I see the enter button to enter your site, and I don't want to press it because I don't want to leave that photo.
I better change it then. I want people to come in.
Well, I eventually came in, but
it's bad advertising.
Well, it's good advertising. I didn't want to leave the page, but I eventually said, if this is so good, I can't wait to click here and see more. So
that's the rest of it.
But I noticed that, and even in your black and whites, the light is such a strong part of the image.
Yeah.
And as a lot of that, I think I read somewhere that you do a lot of that with window lighting or with just the time of the day.
Yes. Yeah. I love, like, I feel like anything could be pretty in great light. Like a frowning child is still beautiful in great light.
Yeah.
So like that shot on the header of I'll just describe it. It's like this huge burst of light coming through Scooter and my daughter, and it looks like they're dancing because he's up on his hind legs and this burst is coming right through them. And honestly, I knew at that time of day, it was like February, it's probably like 5:30, 5:45, the sun's going down. It comes through that tree, like right in front of my house every day. So I shoot there like almost every day. And I just I was like, let's get the dog and let's go outside. And he wasn't sitting and he was kind of being a pest. And I was like, just face him and toss the treat in the air and maybe he'll try to catch it. And I cloned the treat out because I wanted it to look like he was dancing. And then, so I just got lucky that they're both I put the shutter on like super high. Like I was like, I got 100 of them. But I just caught that 1 second. But the whole point of that shot was just because that light was there. Yeah. Like I didn't really have this huge planned out thing. I was really trying to capture that light.
Well, it was planned out in the sense that you knew the light would be there and you got everything set up. So that's planned out. That's good. And I was wondering if you threw a ball or something up in the air to get him to do that. Because he looks like, it's a he, right?
Yes.
He looks like he is dancing. He looks like he's dancing, just having a great time with your daughter.
Yes.
Right. It's a very playful moment.
And I know it's not up behind me, Kate, but I do have it where people can see it on the website.
Okay, great.
They can see what we're talking about. And if you want to go see it, any of the photos we're going to stream tonight are going to be of lesser quality than what's on Kate's site. So if you want to go see them in their full quality, go to kateparkerphotography.com. Kate Parker.
Yeah, there's a Kate Parker in Texas that has gotten a few emails from me, has been awesome, and has forwarded them all to me, which has been so nice.
we will have the.
You're lucky she forwarded them.
I know. I sent her flowers because I was so thankful to her. I was like, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much.
We'll have the full link and without the script I just made in the show notes and links to a lot of other stuff that Kate is doing. So I think I read on your site that you at one point, I don't know if you still do this, you were doing families and newborns and infants and newborns and infants, same thing, and weddings.
Yes.
Are you still doing all those things?
No, just focusing solely on commercial work.
Okay.
Right now, yep.
Okay. Because I'm not sure where I read this, but that's one of the things you were struggling with is the being too diverse, and is that hurting you or something? And I know other photographers we've talked to have had that same battle. Is I don't want to turn down any job, so I'm doing all kinds of different jobs, and I'm not specializing. And I wonder if after time, after you do a lot of these different things, if you didn't find ones that you're either better at or you enjoy more, that then you gravitate toward that work.
That's a great question, because for the longest time I thought I have to specialize. I have to do one thing or the other. And for many years I was doing children, I was doing weddings, I was doing commercial. And then I got to this point where I was just like, I really just want to do commercial. And I had enough commercial work to make that leap and just say, and just to sort of like, I have to like 100% fully invest myself in making a success of being a commercial photographer and not keep like a toe in the water over here and one over here. And because I had to change my site, I had to, just change what I was showing. And it's kind of like, changing from having a full-time job and also shooting to being a full-time photographer. So it's a little leap, but I'm so thankful because I enjoyed weddings and I enjoyed families, but I was like, I feel like I wanted more of a challenge, and I wanted more of just a different kind of, I was not that I was tired of shooting families, because I love the interaction and I love doing that. It's just, I wanted to sort of grow.
Okay. And we spoke, before I forget this, we spoke earlier about Mike Coletta. If you want, I have a group that you can look into if you want, that has a lot of Georgia professional photographers. I can send you the link to. I know Mike is in that, and there's a lot of networking that goes on with those guys.
Thank you.
Good group. I'll send you the link. So there's been a question out in chat from Dean Stone, who says he loves your site. Did you do it yourself, or did you have someone else do it?
No, I had somebody else do it. It's Jay Shipley Design. He's amazing, really amazing. And thank you. Yeah, it was. I had nothing to contribute except for the images. It was everything else was. I said I kind of want it fun and not too stuffy, and he's amazing. So it's Jay Shipley Design. He's awesome.
Very good. It sounds like you're embracing one of the things that I think people who, this is my thought, people who become really successful embrace, and that is do what you're good at and outsource the rest.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good with detail. I'm not good with finance. I can't do there's a few things, and I will do those, and then I will try to,
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people who aren't good at those things but struggle with them and try and do them, it distracts them from what they are good at and what's going to bring them money and make them more successful. So that's a good lesson for new photographers who are getting into it, who are struggling with everything, is find where you can outsource some things, to make you more time where you can spend on the things that will make you successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I mentioned to you at the beginning of the show, we're going to take a small little break here. We still have this to give away.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give out the who this is until the end of the show, but I want for you, Kate, to pick 3 numbers between 1 and 56.
Okay.
Don't pick 1 because that's me.
Okay. 36.
I better write these down.
Okay. So 36.
36.
12. And 5.
And the way this is going to work, guys, I will say who the 36 is, the 12 is, and the 5 is at the end of the show. I'll contact number 36. They have 1 week to respond. And if they don't, then it goes to number 12. And then if that doesn't, it goes to number 5. And I'll mail you this. You got to hang out to the end of the show to find out who that is. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about Strong as the New Pretty. What is that, and how did that come about?
It was I was shooting, like, to start from the beginning, I was shooting my girls and their friends every single day for a few years, just basically to get better, to challenge myself to be creative within a smaller, the same kids, the same house, the same activities, trying to just be creative in a smaller box. And I was asked to be part of a gallery show here in Atlanta at Mason Muir Gallery. And so I had to cull the images down from hundreds to 20 that were the strongest and like that told sort of a narrative, and they had a story. And so after doing that, getting 20 images that kind of were tight, they were edited very similarly. They would work together on the wall. Those 20 images, like, I looked back at them after and I was like, oh, all of these images are showing these girls being really, like, fierce in themselves and not what you typically see young girls portrayed, like how you see young girls portrayed in images. They were not trying to make you like them. They were not trying to be pretty or clean or quiet. They were just being themselves, and those images were the most beautiful, and they were the strongest images. So that's sort of how it grew. And then I started to shoot more specifically for that, which was not hard because that's kind of how my girls are. Mm-hmm. And then it just sort of, it was picked up. I submitted the 20 images because after the gallery show, I was like, well, I have all these images. I have an artist statement and it's over. Like, I'd like to do something with all this work I just did. So I submitted to a blog called My Modern Metropolis, which is sort of culture and art and very well followed. So I definitely recommend submitting there. They're amazing. And from there, the Huffington Post picked it up. They ran a story about it, and it kind of got a little bit of media. And this was last summer. Okay. And so it got like a little bit of media attention, and which kind of died down after, I don't know, a couple weeks. Nothing huge, but like, I was like, oh, wow, I can't believe, it was a big deal. And then in this March, Baby Center contacted me and said, oh, we missed this when it came up, last summer. We'd love to rerun it. And I said, sure, I have a bunch of new pictures. I'll put them in a Dropbox for you. So I included a bunch of color images and a bunch of different images. And it just sort of blew up from there. Like CNN and then the Today Show. And then it just was.
And when did all this happen?
April. Yeah, April. Okay. April, yeah.
This April.
So this April. So we had this big time where nothing was going on, and then Baby Center picked it up, and then a mommy blog picked it up. A lot, called Mommy Shorts, which is awesome, has a great following, and then it just sort of snowballed from there.
I have two sons, so I can't relate that way. But I did grow up with two sisters. I did grow up with two sisters, one of which was a gymnast, and so I learned as a young boy. I didn't find it strange that my sister was so into sports, and she was, as a gymnast, she's working hard every single day, and always coming home with something hurt. So that was kind of the norm. And watching your photos, I think even if whether you have boys or whether you have girls, I know this is directed more toward girls, but boys or girls, it's just wonderful looking at these and the expressions that are in their faces. And you're right, they don't have perfect faces. They're dirty. Their teeth missing, which is absolutely adorable. One of my favorites is one of your daughters who's looking through the what is that claw that comes down and gets the stuffed animals.
Claw game, yeah.
Yeah, I love that expression that's on her face.
Yeah, it had like come up to the top and then, it was in the thing and then it fell. And I just I knew like either way they're very expressive. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, so I was wondering, I guess you had to be set up and ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was at like Taco Mac. And I knew the lighting and it's actually like really good lighting because it's dark all around. And then, it was the only hard part is you have to sort of position yourself so you're not in there, but you catch that expression. So I'm literally like, I'm doing it right now, like down like this, like going
So you're not getting a reflection?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find it now and looking through the photos so I can show people what I'm talking about. I know it's, there it is.
Yeah. And I'm actually like, I clone myself out. I'm a little bit on her left.
Okay. That expression, oops, let me go back. That expression is just priceless. Yes. But there's so many like that. That's the thing, as I go through these, I look at so many of them. You know, the one of your daughter here with the worm, there's so many of these that are just amazing. What do your daughters think of these things? They honestly don't care very much about any of it. They are so used to me having my camera with me, and I try to be very quick, like in and out. Like the claw game, I probably took 5 shots, and I was like, all right, finish. I'm out. I'm done. You know? So whatever they're doing that's fun. Like today, for example, we went to the cooler. We went to go skating, roller skating. And so I have my camera, but I'm there to roller skate. I'm there to have fun. So, but for maybe 10 minutes of the whole time, I'll take some pictures and then I put it away and we're done. So anytime we do something I know is going to be fun or interesting, or we go to Taco Mac where I know the claw game is, I'll just grab my camera and try to get a shot. But not for long. Like it's not a big part of the evening. It's like, you know, this much of a whole evening.
But you got to have the camera with you to get those pictures too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But it leads me to 2 questions, and that is, are your daughters starting to become one or 2 things, either resistant to it and saying, Mom, stop, or it's just the way Mom is and just live with it and, you know, and almost ignore it? Yeah, it's depending on their mood, somewhere in between there. Because I got to the point where I had to bribe my boys to do something.
Oh, yeah. I totally will bribe them. Yeah.
But the other thing I noticed when I bribe my boys to do something like play in the leaves or something, it's more canned. When you look at these images that you have, the one of your daughter here with the claw game, the one with the worm, just any of them really, they don't look staged. These look like they are living life, and you are just capturing as it happens. Yeah, well, I mean, for example, those two were actually happening. It's not like I just had my camera with me. I knew something would happen, so I anticipated it. So I guess it's more that is I'm anticipating these real emotion. I know this emotion is going to happen, and I'm ready to capture it. Like this was somebody was with a leaf blower on the side, and I knew they would think that's so much fun. So obviously, I'm going to capture that with my camera. So I was like, hang on, let me get my camera. You know, they were doing this already, so I'm just there to, you know, get a good shot. Again, guys who are watching this, everybody who's watching this, you got to go to her site and see these in their full quality, because I can't stream it at their full quality. This one, the leaves are at the bottom are kind of motion blurred. I think that is. You didn't add that blur, right? No, I think I did. I think I put on a radio blur in Photoshop. Oh, okay. Well, it looks pretty good. Yeah. Thanks. and your daughter looks like she's kind of in the center of a vortex of leaves coming around her.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, and she's kind of leaning toward one way, like she's fighting the breeze or something. And absolutely loving it. Yeah, she weighs about 10 pounds, so she could have been. Okay, Tim, if you can read that question, I can't read all that and keep track of what's going on.
All right, question.
Sometimes the questions distract me, Kate. So
okay.
You're talking about the question in chat, right?
Yes, from guest 362 and
352.
352. Before you read it, there are a number of people who aren't logged in. You can log in like guest here. It is. You don't have to create an account or anything. You can come in through Facebook, through Twitter, through some other ways. But if you don't want to log in with that way, you can just come in as a guest, and then you can type in your message. Okay, Tim.
Okay, I'll preface this. The person does not live in America, so just wondering if Kate has any advice with regards to getting images and portfolios reviewed online. I live in a very small country that just doesn't have access to the range of portfolio reviews that seem to be on offer in America. So I'm not quite sure where he's from. which country, or she for that fact.
Okay. I would definitely recommend before, I think I went to an in-person portfolio review here in Atlanta, where I had a bunch of huge images, and this was before I had the gallery show. So it was sort of a few of the images that made it into the gallery were there, and it was unbelievable. It was so helpful to have someone who knows about photography say, like, you've lost blacks here. You need to, you know, like very in-depth, very high-level critique. But you don't have to do it in person. You can. I did one following that online with there's a woman named Jasmine DeFord that was amazing. And I just put a Dropbox folder, and she just went through all of them and said, these are your strongest. This is what's strong about them. This is what you need to work on. This is sort of where the holes are. As long as you have internet access, that's something that you can do. I would just Google online photography critiques, check to see if they're reputable, and then just go ahead and do it. I wouldn't let, kind of like anything hold you back, like worrying about whether you're ready or not, because they will always give you something to work on, regardless of, where you are. It was really, really helpful.
Okay. And Dean has a question. What is your go-to lens for family style photos?
My go-to lens for everything is my 28-2.8. It's like I don't think I have my camera down here. It's so cheap. It's not so cheap, but it's like $200. And mine is like the ring around is all chipped. And I was telling Mike Coletta, I was embarrassed to show up to the shoot with it because I look like oh shoot, what's the guy's name? Like the Sanford and Son showing. Because I use it all the time. I love that lens because it's wide enough.
Yeah.
Like that I can get the whole scene, but it's not that wide that it's distorting anything.
There's another way to look at that, Kate, is if you ever watch a football game and the person at the end of the game who has almost no marks on their helmet is the person who spent all the time on the sidelines. The person who's got a banged up helmet is the person who's working it.
Yeah, I have a pretty banged up 28.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So back to your Strong as New Pretty is what are you wanting a message to come across from this project?
The message is that whatever you are, I mean, regardless of whether you're a girl or a boy or a grown up, whatever that is fine. Celebrate that. Be that 100%. Celebrate who you are. What I focused on in this, in that project was specifically these girls that I know that I live with. And these girls are very athletic, which is sometimes not that, traditional female role does not allow for that. Mm-hmm. But these girls, so that's what I focused on. Like strong is just another word for, smart, messy, confident. It's just, and pretty is really just subbing in for like, beautiful, which just doesn't necessarily like mean,
right.
How you look. It's just who you are. It's basically, it's a catchy phrase that is saying whoever you are, just be that and celebrate that. And that's fine. That's awesome. What I was trying to show. Yeah. And the girls, it's a specific sort of demographic, and I'm going to expand the project to show different kinds of girls and different girls that are interested in different things. And, but that's coming in a little bit. But the way I started was just with what I knew, which I think is always a good place to start.
Right, with your kids, and you're not pushing your kids to be strong as a new pretty. That's just who they are. That's what your message is saying, is let the kids be who they are, not trying to push them in a certain way, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like some people saw the article and said, well, my daughter is a dancer. She's a ballerina. She's into princesses. Like, what is wrong with her? I'm like, nothing. That's perfect.
Right.
I love that. Like, if that's who she is, celebrate that.
Well, I will say, the internet can be cruel sometimes, but when I was reading the comments, I don't know if I saw one negative comment anywhere in the articles I was reading. They all seem to be positive. I'm sure if we searched hard enough, we could find something, because that's just the way people are online. But I think, I don't know, I'm just speaking, I don't have any stats, but I bet 99% or more of the feedback has been absolutely positive, because it's sending a great message. It's not saying make your daughters play in mud or make your daughters play sports. It's, at least the way I'm taking it, is let them be who they want to be. And if that is to play sports, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's perfect. That's how it's supposed to be taken. Good job.
and same with my boys. I always wanted them to get out and do something, and you knew you found the right thing when they liked it and they wanted to do it. I wanted to push them into a certain sport, and then my older son got into swimming, and he absolutely loves swimming. And it was right when he's practicing on his own. When he goes he goes out running to be a better swimmer, and I didn't tell him to do it.
That's awesome.
If you're having to push your kid and they make him do it and everything like that, sometimes they need it. Mm-hmm. But if you're having to do it all the time, then maybe it's you who wants it, not them.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to look at, look at yourself and be like, is that me? And I say to my girls, because I coach them both in soccer, and I played soccer in college. I played my whole life. And I always say before the season, do you guys want to play? You don't have to play soccer. Like, if you want to do something else, it's totally fine. They're like, no, we love soccer, Mommy. And I'm like, okay. This is why you don't have to play.
Now, as they get older, do you see that message? Let me finish that. Do you see that message somewhat changing? Maybe they stay in soccer and they get more involved in it, or maybe they decide to go a different route. And do you see continuing photographing your girls in their daily life as you are now?
Well, I think it all depends on. Probably as they get older, I imagine I won't photograph them so much. I mean, I would like them to sort of have, adolescence is hard. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy time for anybody. And I don't want to be like, obtrusive or intrusive. And I would like to let them sort of have, it's honestly, I will let them take the lead. But if they're over it, it's fine with me. Yeah.
Is that going to be a sad day for you? It kind of was for me when my boys kind of grew up and there was no more of those cute photos left anymore. Do you think that's going to be kind of a sad day for you to see your two girls grow up beyond that and into adolescence?
Yeah. I think it'll be, honestly, it's a little scary, but I feel like it will push me a little bit to be like, well, what now? Yeah. What are you going to do? Because I think I'll always want to have a project to work on. So in a sense, I think it would kind of make me grow a little bit, which is good. Scary, but good.
Let me tell you about my first time that I ran into girls playing soccer. So my little one was first playing soccer. So he's maybe 5 or 6, and they're practicing. It is total chaos. The boys are getting in line, waiting to kick the ball. They're bumping into each other. They're falling down. Can't follow directions worth a darn. And I look next to us, and here's the same age girls team, and they're running drills and passing the ball back and forth. And I just thought to myself, thank God we never have to play them. Because we will never score. We will get our butts kicked every week. It's funny. And it was, and from there I did a lot more shooting of soccer, and from the little kids like that all the way up to the high school people, and the girls were just as good as the boys. There's no difference. There's no reason why a girl should be hesitant to get into sports like that.
Oh no, it's so good. I think it's so, as a girl that grew up playing sports, it is so, it keeps you sort of out of all of the, what do I look like? Who likes me? Like all the cattiness, because it's more like, did I play well? Am I on the bench? Not that that's more important, but it's, your worth is determined by more than what you look like. So I think that's important.
Absolutely. So this is really blown up, as we mentioned before, and gone to CNN, the Today Show, and all those other things. Has that popularity helped you professionally in any way? Is that, what is that doing for you professionally and personally? Good or bad?
It's been, personally, it's been crazy because it's been really, really busy. And right now, finally, is like the first time that it's died down, which is, I can finally deal with the inquiries and like, where am I? What is going on with that? Or what is going on with that? Because there was a lot of commercial inquiries that came in, and a lot of people asking, can we feature this? And just following up with features, like asking to feature it, took, I don't know, 10 hours a day for weeks. just to say, like, because it was international, and it's still kind of going on. But it's been nothing but positive as far as professionally. It's been amazing. I think commercial clients have seen, okay, this is how she shoots. This is sort of the style that she shoots with. I'd like to hire that style of photographer as opposed to a children's photographer or a photographer that can shoot sports. So it's wonderful. It just helps get your name out there. It helps people just see your work, and they get to see the work that I handpicked that I'm most proud of, that is like means the most to me. So it's just like so wonderfully lucky. Like I'm so thankful for the opportunity to combine photography I love and a message that I completely believe in.
And I know you didn't mean it this way, but it's turned out to be great advertising for you. I would be surprised if you don't have, I know you're not doing these as much anymore, but I'd be surprised if you don't have families, at least in the Atlanta area, who say, Kate, please come photograph my kids. I'd love to do a session with you and have you photograph my kids.
Yeah.
Because, if any of those in that group were my child, I'd want it up on the wall. I mean, everyone in that group is good enough to go on the wall.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've had a lot of family inquiries, and it's been like a weird thing to say, sorry, I'm not shooting families right now. Here are other family photographers that I recommend. It's so weird to me to be there saying, but I've been busy. I think obviously things can change but right now in order to focus on commercial work, I think I have to focus on that.
You have to focus, right?
Yeah.
All right. So next, last question I have here for the Strong as New Pretty is: are your daughters making any money from these images?
Oh.
Do they want to cut somehow? Mommy, I want some money. I'll take 20%.
Anything that comes from this, I will definitely put stuff. If there's a larger, book or whatever, definitely giving them huge cuts. College scholarship, college money fund right there.
There you go.
But no, all of this press is, I don't make any money off the press.
Right. We're not paying you tonight.
It's not like, it's all like it's all like planting seeds, to hopefully somebody thinks, oh, I remember I saw that there. So no, there's no Ferraris in our driveway.
and another good thing about these is not ones that they're not on a potty where they're going to be embarrassed when they date boyfriends later on. These are all ones they could actually, as they get older, they can be proud of.
I think that's nice. Yeah, I try to be respectful. I don't want to show anything that they would be embarrassed about. Like they're just being like fun and awesome, I think, in most of the pictures. And why wouldn't you want to show that?
Absolutely. Tim, do you want to read the question out in chat?
Okay. Can you get in the same guest 352 again? Kate, can you give insight into any educational course, workshops, or inspirational books or artists that have inspired you on your journey as a photographer?
Oh yeah, for sure. I teach a class through Clickin' Moms, but I've taken classes through there, and their classes are amazing. Like they're all online, but they're like really in depth. They're really well done. And if you are in the Atlanta area and you want to take a class in person, Showcase School is amazing. They do everything really well. I've taken lighting classes through there. One editing class that I've taken that was huge for me was Jinky Art. Barb Uil, UIL, and she did it's you pay for a year and you get 20 editing videos. And just watching those editing videos was like light bulbs all over the place. So those were a couple that are really influential and really helped.
That was Barb who?
Uil, I think it's UIL, and it's Jinky Art. She's in Australia.
Oh yeah. I've talked with her. Yep. We haven't had her on the show, but she's very busy.
Her images are like otherworldly, and her editing is it's so amazing to watch her because she's just like, go here. Like it's so fast. You're like, Okay, I gotta rewind. Hold on.
Well, that's good. You can pause and go back to it.
You can pause and go at your own pace.
Yeah. So, on your website, you also have 2 other personal projects. That's not just Strong as a New Pretty. You have, let's see where it is, Blended and What It Means to Be a Girl. Can you, before you go into those, tell us a little about why the personal projects?
Because if I only edit things that are not really like, I want to continue to be creative, and I want every day I come downstairs to here, and if I shoot a picture the day before that I'm excited to edit, that's the first thing I do every single day is I edit something that inspires me, that I want to edit, that I want to experiment with. It's not someone's headshot. It's not, an exterior of a building. It's something that means something to me. So to continue to shoot personal work, I think just makes me happy, makes me a better photographer, and it just keeps me like getting better.
It helps you grow, being able to shoot, shoot different things that you want to shoot. By the way, that's an awesome studio you have back there.
Oh, thanks. It's my basement.
Well, I love the lighting, and we got to see a little bit more of the room. It's a nice sized room.
Yeah, it was just like we just added walls, so you can see. There's my dog. Yeah, and then there's the couch and the garbage can.
And the garbage can.
Yeah, and the garbage can. Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about Blended and What It Means to Be a Girl. What was the thought behind those two projects?
Well, Blended started because my sister who lives here adopted a little boy who, I was going to capture their whole journey of adoption. They happened to adopt a little boy right here in Atlanta that was African American. And I thought it was just an interesting, I wanted to capture, because they got him the day he was born, and I was at the hospital with them. And, so just the first 6 months to a year, I was there, I was shooting. I just thought it was so beautiful. Like, he's just so loved and so welcomed, and he's just the most gorgeous little boy I've ever seen. And basically it started as I wanted to, capture it for my sister, my parents. But then I thought, oh, there's kind of a broader message here. Like, nobody cares what color he is. Nobody can, it didn't matter at all.
He's just a cute baby.
Oh gosh, he's the cutest thing ever.
And I'm showing some of the images now.
Yeah.
And how old is he now?
He's 15 months.
15 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these again are wonderful photos, and capturing the mood and the moment.
Yeah.
And then your other one is What It Means to Be a Girl.
Yeah, and a friend here in my neighborhood, Bernie DeWitt, who is awesome, saw my Strong as a New Pretty project and said, "Hey, my daughter and her friends joined this flag football team, and they're the only girls, and they're playing against the boys." And she said they do that on Saturday, and then on Sunday they go to cotillion, which is like a Southern thing where they learn manners and decorum and how to dance. And so I was like, thank you so much for telling me. Can I come photograph? Because I thought it was so interesting that these girls that are kind of iconoclastic and are playing against the boys and putting eye black on and, killing it on Saturday are in dresses, it was a funny, a kind of an examination of what the South is like a little bit. That there's these two different points of view and ways to be, and that these girls are fine with both of them. Yeah. And they want to do this one. Nobody's forcing them to do cotillion. Nobody's forcing them to do this. They want to do both. And that's great.
I was wondering what that was, because they had these little flags hanging from them. So, I don't know if any of the images had actual football in it, but I was wondering, what are they doing? Because it looks like flag football.
Yes, they're playing flag football.
Yeah, that's great to know. So, and then I guess here are the ones with cotillion. Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Where they're more dress proper.
Yes.
Yeah. That's an awesome story.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
So what do you got cooked up next for your next project? Anything you can share with us?
Oh yeah, well, I'm going to be expanding the Strong as a New Pretty just across.
With Tim and I.
What's that?
With Tim and I.
Yes.
Pretty is a new strong.
Yeah.
Let's flip it.
Yeah. Yeah, with different girls, different parts of the country, different interests. Just trying to expand it to, like I was saying, people were saying, well, my daughter's into this, into princesses and dance. Is that not okay? And even though I say it in what whatever the article is, I didn't show it. I want to show it because the pictures, nobody's going to, what percentage of people actually read? They'll like read the article.
That's true.
It says Strong's New Pretty and it's all athletic girls. It doesn't matter that I said it's okay. I still didn't show it. So I'd like to show it.
And you said all over the country. Do you plan on traveling to do some of this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the plan.
All right. And you did mention you're doing something over at Clickin' Moms. I think I found one of those, turning lifestyle photography into art. Is that?
I just finished that. It's a month-long online course. Just finished it up a week or so ago, and don't have the definite date for like when it will run next, but definitely plan on doing another one. But it's great. It's like every week is a video critique, and so you hear me talking and going over your images and playing around with them, and I think it's like 65 pages PDF. It's like,
wow.
I wrote a book. Yeah. Basically.
So you had to prepare all 65 pages?
Yeah, I wrote them all.
That's like going back to college or something.
Oh my gosh. I was so proud when
I didn't write no 65-page papers.
No, I didn't either.
However, there are pictures.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But it still must have felt a little bit about like, I got homework to do.
I know it did. It was stressful. It was totally stressful, but I've written it. So now I can run the class. I only have to write it once.
Yeah. And Clickin' Moms is such a great resource. You mentioned that earlier, and I know that a lot of they have a lot of resources there, and they get a lot of great talent like yourself to do things like this, to share with other photographers who are getting into this.
Yeah.
And is it just open to women?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. Yeah. It's a misnomer. It's Clickin' everyone.
Clickin' parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I mentioned this before, that the Clickin' mom, the soccer mom, or the what do you call it, the team mom, or in my case, team dad. I think that we have more so the women than the men have, as us as parents, have changed the photography industry. Mm-hmm. If you look back, at least when I was in high school, everybody's photo looked the same. We're all against some fake tree, and the guy's taking the same shot. Yep, and it's next. You're going like that, and you look at the photos of today, the senior photos, the photos you have of your children. A lot of the moms who are women or men who are learning at Clickin' Moms and other online resources, they are really expanding the creativity of what we're getting these days. And I had a great guy shoot my son as a senior, Scott Green, here in the area, and his senior photos look nothing like mine.
Yeah.
So I think that's great that you're willing to share your knowledge and help other people like that.
Yeah, I think you have, I feel like it's sort of your responsibility, because somebody shared with me. So it doesn't, I don't understand the mentality of like keeping secrets. Like nobody can shoot like you. Nobody does exactly the same as you. So why not just it's just good karma to get it, share what you know and help out as much as you can.
Yeah. Now we talked a little bit about your black and whites. They look so well processed.
Oh, thank
you. Black and white is one of those things you can do wrong. Mm-hmm. I love black and white. It does bring out the emotion. It kind of strips away the distraction of color sometimes and leaves you with just the emotion. Also, I like color ones too, though.
Yes.
But that's what I see with the black and white. How are you processing those? Is it Lightroom, Photoshop? Which do you prefer, or something else?
It's actually a combination of both. Like I will convert to black and white in Lightroom. Usually, I can just click on the black and white conversion. I have a preset, but this is how I made the preset. Mm-hmm. Click on the black and white conversion, bring up the blacks, or bring down the blacks so they're more saturated. Bring up the clarity, bring up the highlights. Then I bring it into Photoshop and dodge and burn where I need to with shadows in the face or whatever. And then a lot of times I'll put an overlay. Jessica Drawson makes some amazing overlays. and I'll put an overlay, sort of a light texture on there, bring it down the opacity way down to like 30%, paint it off faces, bring it back into Lightroom, and then up the clarity again. That's sort of how I.
Awesome. There you go. There's a great tip for everybody on how to do black and whites.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as your professional career, where would you like to see that go from here? You know, you're just concentrating more on the commercial. What would you like to what's your goals there? What would you like to do?
I would love to continue to shoot projects that I believe in, about messages that I would like to help get out there, and have use the platform that I've been luckily been given to get different messages out there in a broader way. So whether it's the, adoption or non-traditional families or strong girls, like whatever that is, I just would like to help get these messages out there through photography in a beautiful package. It's not necessarily like an in-your-face message, but the message is there nonetheless. So if it's a book or whatever the way that it is, that's sort of where I hope to see it going.
Okay. And is there anywhere we can go and see the commercial work, some of the commercial work you did? Or is it's just gonna be in ads where we go, I think that's Kate's?
No, I will certainly shout it to the treetops when I'm allowed to.
Yeah, yes. I'd love to see some of that.
Yeah. Because it's all so close and it's coming down the pipeline. I'm don't want to mess anything up, but yeah, I will. If you are on my Facebook page, I will, as soon as I'm allowed to, I will scream it.
I will be watching for that, and we'll have the link to your Facebook page, your Twitter account, your website, and you have a blog. I know you're crazy busy, but you do have some posts in there.
Yeah, and also on my website, under tear sheets is my past commercial work. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, but the new stuff that's coming is not on there yet.
I loved on your website the fun facts and your daydreams. That was so. I absolutely love that.
Thanks.
It's under the about, and then at the very bottom it had a
learn more.
Learn more. Click on that, and it's got the little fun facts. I played college soccer at Wake Forest University. I had the time of my life. My teammates were and are the best friends I could have ever asked for. You have a whole bunch of things. Infrequent flyer, which I thought was funny. And bridesmaids, I saw it right there. And soulmates, veggies, and
my commercial agent asked me to take that off, which I have to, because she's like, you don't want somebody to look at that and be like, well, I don't want to hire her because she's not going to come. But I will come. I will just. I'm actually much better than I was. I don't. So I have to take that off there because I don't want anybody to be like, "Oh, she's crazy."
Just the flyer one, right? You get to keep the rest of them.
Yeah, the rest of them are fine. I just don't want anybody to think I don't fly, because I do.
Yeah, I did see this, Tim. I just forgot about it because I saw your triathlon, and I know your daughter. Didn't your daughter do a triathlon recently?
Yeah, she did. It was a couple summers ago. It's her first triathlon, and she had been coming to watch me and my husband do them. So she was, kind of familiar with it. But yeah, she was real nervous and real scared. So that's what we took a shot of her looking real brave and all her stuff, just to kind of show her, like, look at how tough you look. You're totally got this.
Yeah, as this one here, and I will try and get it up behind me here. But I have it.
Oh, yeah.
Have it up there. There's actually a color and a black and white one. There's the color one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one I like better. I love both of them. And you're right. She looks, I don't know what was going on in her mind, but when I see it, what I see is power. I am ready to kick this thing's butt. Yeah.
That's what I said to her. I was like, show me your toughest face. Like, show me that you got this. Like, you can totally do this. And that she's a very good model. Like, she's good. She can convey a lot in her eyes and stuff. So, and actually, I would like you to know, she texted me, when's my payday? She's watching, and she said,
when's my pay date? Uh-oh. I've opened something up. So you can tell your daughter that I'm an accountant by trade, and if she needs me to negotiate for her, I will help her out.
Okay, I will make sure you do not get in touch with her.
Well, and also tell her, I mean, this is a fantastic photo and something that probably at any age, when she's 80, this would be a photo to have on her wall. This is her, and I'm sure there'll be others also. But if this is her first triathlon, is that what that was?
Yes, it's her first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing that's more meaningful than the first. Well,
yeah.
The first one can't be repeated. I mean, it's the first one.
Yeah.
So let me say that. I can't say that nothing's more meaningful, but that is her first one. And that power that she has there is just fantastic.
Yeah,
and I love, so it's always dangerous as a guy to make observations about women. So, Kate, you
can't win.
So, Kate, you can feel free to disagree with me or correct me on anything. But one of the things I think that is going to be helpful for young girls like her who's growing up is later when they get into the business world. When I was first getting into the business world, it seemed, and of course my pool of statistics here is very small because it's the people I've worked with, so this is not statistically accurate. But it seemed like any of the women who were in high places were not pleasant to work with. And now that I'm later in my career and I've been out there for a while, it seems that the ladies I work with now who are in high places are not the same. There's really in that there's hard people to work with, male or female.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem that high-placed woman is always difficult to work with. There's like no difference. There's not as much difference anymore. You got jerks both sides, but you also have women who are strong, who are command of presence, who are in control, and are also pleasant to work with. And I think that is because maybe they grew up more like this, like your daughters are. There's 3 women that I work with that I can think of who are just fantastic to work with, that I know I can count on them, that will do a great job, or are leaders, and will go places in their life.
That's great. Yeah. I wonder, I had not thought about that. I wonder if it is because they're comfortable being strong, but also maybe a little vulnerable as well. Like you don't have to be strong all the time. You can be yourself and that's okay. And if you're slightly vulnerable or don't know something, that's okay. Like it doesn't mean that you're weak.
And I got this from this image. I started thinking about it when I was looking at this image and thinking that I wonder if there was a certain time in life that, the guys who are at the top didn't treat the women at the top the right way. And those women had to act a certain way to stay there. And it was out of character maybe for what they were grown up as. And now today's women who are into sports, who are into everything, it's not unnatural to be a leader like that.
Yeah. I think I think there's no gender lines about like who can lead and who can't lead. It's just who gets the opportunities.
Yes.
If it's nice.
Was that too far off or anything? Anything you need to correct me there?
No.
Feel free.
You walk the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
You walk the line.
All right. Well, tell your daughter I'm cheap too. I won't charge her that much. Just like 5% commission.
Okay. Of her 2% of what I get.
Yeah, we're not starting at 2.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question out in chat, and then we got to close this up because we're past the hour. From guest 352, how do you stay true to your path and your vision? Do you stay away from looking at others' work online, or can you be inspired and uninfluenced in your work?
That's a hard one because I don't necessarily shy away from looking at other people's work because I think everybody gets inspiration. I think it helps. I think there is a line between copying and inspiration, and you have to, honestly, I think it's fine if you see something that completely inspires you and you want to see if you can do it. Try it, copy it. I wouldn't share it anywhere. I would keep it just to yourself and then figure out how you can make your own spin on it. I've done that before, like pin something on Pinterest and shot it exactly like it is, but didn't share it anywhere because I'm straight up copying. However, I just wanted to see how it looked, see if I could do that, but then take your time to sort of like digest it and then be like, well, how does this become mine? And then, so there's nothing wrong because everybody does that. Everybody takes something from here, takes something here, but you have to like put your own lens on it. So I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't look at other people's work. Like, you won't grow.
And don't you think also going through that process helps you become a better photographer, because you have to, what did they do here? How can I redo that? And then, you know, if you shoot it and it comes out wrong, you go, okay, I messed up. And then you just keep improving until you get it.
Yes.
Right. And then, you know, don't pass it off as your own work. Like you didn't share it online, but the process of there's nothing wrong with going through that process.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. That's the point of it.
Yeah. Well, Kate, thank you for coming out here and sharing your time with us. I know you're getting a lot of requests from a lot of people, and we appreciate the hour, a little bit more than an hour we've taken of your time here. We do have a few things to go over at the closing, including the who you picked for this.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick name the three people. You pick three numbers, 36, 12, and 5. And the way this is going to work is 36 wins when I say your name. I will email you tonight, and then you have 1 week to respond. If you don't respond, then we're going to go to 12. If they don't respond, then we go to 5. And hopefully one of you three will respond, because I got to get rid of this thing. This thing has been sitting here forever, huh, Tim?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So number 36 is Grand Inspirations Photo. I won't say the end of it, just in case you don't want people knowing your email and everybody emailing you. But that's who won. Congratulations. I will email you as soon as we're done. You have 1 week to respond. And then if you don't respond,
don't say the next person.
Because he's out there?
Well, no, because you don't want them to know that they didn't win.
Okay.
You're so close.
I won't say who's out there.
So close yet so far.
You're right. Yeah, we'll go with that. Good thinking, Tim. Number 2 and number 3, you're in the running. You just don't know it.
There you go.
All right. If you were late to come in tonight, or if you had to leave early, you're not hearing what I'm saying right now anyway. But this show is recorded. We're on YouTube for the live show and on our website. But the recorded version will be out on YouTube, on iTunes. I don't know about TiVo, Tim. So we were on TiVo, but TiVo changed their programming, and now no podcasts are coming through, no matter how big you are. So I don't think we had a huge TiVo following, but if you do follow us on TiVo, hopefully you follow somewhere else, so you're never going to get this message. TiVo is working on it, and hopefully they'll have it fixed, and then all the podcasts can come back through. But as far as video, we're on iTunes, on YouTube, and then for audio, we're on Stitcher, iTunes, of course, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and many other locations. This recorded version will be out later this week, and also on our website too. If you want to get it, the best way to do it is to subscribe to one of those locations, and you can get the show as soon as it comes out. We'd love to have you in our Facebook group, which is jpeg2RAW.com, or not jpeg2RAW, facebook.com/group/jpeg2RAW, where we have a monthly photo contest and a every other week editing contest. We'd love to have you come out there and join us in either one or both of those. The way we do these things, the way we're able to do these things, is people who use our Amazon link, which is jpeg2raw.com/Amazon. All the funds go back to doing giveaways like this and other things that we do. And if you use that link before you go to Amazon, we'll get a small credit, and then we'll turn it back into giveaways like this. As we all know as photographers, there's no end to the amount of money you can spend on different things, from camera gear to software to computers. It never seems to end. So little things like this help. Don't forget to join our newsletter. There's no newsletter yet, but that's how you enter to win this contest, and we'll probably have others in the future. Newsletter will be coming out in the near future. Plus, we are kicking off a new show. I mentioned to Kate in the beginning of this that the real reason for the jpeg2RAW at the beginning was for beginners, and we've gotten way off of that. We've started a new Facebook group just for beginners, and we're going to eventually do shows that are just for beginners to go back to that heritage that we originally started this for. As Tim and I celebrate 4 years at the end of this month, hard to believe, but we'll be going back to the beginners. Still have this show, but we'll have that other show in addition. So until next week, keep it raw, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.